Hello, my name is Kevin Wilhem. I am the president and co-founder of Marketing4ECPs, and this is my annual webinar all about building your marketing plan and marketing budget for the following year. Now, we're going to do this in less than an hour, and this hour should be pretty valuable for you if you take the information and really apply it to a new way of thinking for 2023 and beyond. Now, who am I? If you haven't heard me speak before, yes, my name is Kevin Wilhem. I have a marketing agency. We specifically support eye care practices throughout the United States and Canada, primarily independents, and helping them build a brand strategy, a lead generation strategy that brings in the right type of patients and new patients to fill their booking calendar. I was fortunate enough to write a book called Click in 2019, all about digital marketing. And I'm going to take just one chapter of that book and share that with you today. So let's dive in. First, let's start with the term strategy. So what is strategy? Well, when you look at strategy, it's about the allocation of the limited time, energy, and resources that you have. And you want to build those towards activities that generate a desired outcome. So really, it's understanding all the options that you have in front of you and determining what are you saying no to. So if you have $100 and 100 hours, what objectives, which big initiatives are going to get your attention, time, and resources? And so understanding the plan of what you're building towards is really important. So when we think about building a marketing budget, let's look at the why. Why does it matter? Well, number one, to stay on track financially, understand this is the revenue goals that I'm trying to build out in the next 1 year, 3 years. And understanding that you're going to need to put some fuel into your marketing in order to help you achieve these revenue targets. We're going to talk about that later, but you're going to come back to that and say, where are we trending on our marketing plan? Where are we trending on our revenue to make sure that those are both lined up and that marketing is actually supporting your revenue targets? Number two is we want to allocate funds effectively. So many times marketing is the afterthought. It's a thing that we maybe give 5 minutes to a month. But if we create a plan now for next year and we allocate funds and say, this is how much money I'm willing to invest on a monthly basis, then that money sort of becomes protected. And we know that it's going to continually fuel your practice forward. You want to set benchmarks and goals. And so, every year you want to get a little bit better. You want to grow your business. You want to become more efficient, more proficient. And so understanding your benchmarks and goals are important. And then also applying that to a marketing sense. Marketing plans absolutely help you long-term. We're going to talk about a 3-year plan, a 1-year plan. If you want to shift the type of patients that you're seeing, you have to start now. And that planning, that long-term planning, will absolutely help you achieve it. And the last one is everybody thinks marketing is an expense. It's something you have to do. It truly is an investment into the growth of your practice. And whether that's growing the revenue or it's growing the type of patients that you want to see, marketing should help you do that. When we think about how, well, number one is we have to determine the goals of your practice. Everybody's a little bit different, and that timeline is also different. We want to look at your patient persona. Who is the ideal patient that you want to see day in and day out? Understanding the patient cycle. How often are they coming to see you? How can we get compliance to increase? Then think about the strategies that you're going to use. There's so many different options out there, whether it's digital marketing, traditional, word of mouth, referral programs, external signage, so many different things. We want to really narrow in on the strategies that make sense, and then determine the costs and how much are you willing to actually invest in your business to achieve that. So before we really get going, we have to look at the goals. What goals exist for you? And you may be sitting here thinking, I don't really have any goals. And now is the time to take what we call it as a clarity break. It's a little bit of a break from the business to work on the business. And before you understand where you're going, it's really important to understand where you are today. And so what I want you to do is dig talk to your accountant, talk to your finance team, find out your financial figures for the last fiscal year. So look at your trailing 12 months. What has your revenue been? What are the patterns? What is your gross margins? What's your net margins? Also look at the split between medical services, your retail component, really understand your business. And then start to envision, what is the ideal number look like? What's your pro forma? What do you want that revenue to be? What do you want gross margins to be? And how are we going to build a plan to get you there? I want you to really dig deep and look at your current patient demographics. Who are they? Where do they live? What do they want from you? Are they aging? Are they getting younger? Are their needs changing? I think that's really important to understand who your ideal patient is tomorrow, but first, really understanding who that patient is today. And then look and say, how are you currently reaching them? What is your current marketing? And how much does it cost to reach them? Are you doing mailers? Are you doing any radio advertising? Have you yet to invest at all? And it's just word of mouth. What does your social media presence look like? What does your online digital presence look like? All of that's really important. So just take a few hours over the next week or two and just sit down and uncover these things about your business. The more you know about your business today, the easier it is to plan for the future. And then I want you to think about 3 years. So it's December, it's 2022. What does December 2025 look like? What do you want your revenue to be? Your profit, your gross profit percentages. And if you were to write out your ideal patient base, who's making up the largest majority of your patients? Are you seeing more dry eye patients, more vision therapy patients? Are you selling higher end brands? Are you having more contact lens patients? What is the goal that you want to see? Are you trying to see more patients that understand your values, understand the added service offering that you provide? Or are you just trying to see more people in general? So really understand what and who do you want to see in 3 years? And then we're going to backdate that right to 1 year. So a year from today, 12 months from now, what will your revenue be? What is the profit, gross profit percentage, and who your patients will be made up of? The ideal scenario is 3 years, but in order to get there, we have to start building out increments in order to build you up. So do the 3 year, do the 1 year. And if you are watching this webinar for the second or third time, I want you to go back to last year's and look at what you wrote down. And are you aligned with a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago? Are you making progress? And if you aren't, I want you to really look and say, what part of my plan have I dropped off and not followed? Because I will tell you, if you could be disciplined and truly follow the plan that you're building, it's a lot easier to hit these goals if you are focused in on a plan. So now let's talk about objectives. There's two objectives really when it comes to marketing. It's generating leads for today, and there's building a brand for tomorrow. Different objectives. I really believe these should be treated differently, that we should have different budgets, different outcomes, different strategies when it comes to this. And really the difference is this. Generating leads means that there are people today in and around your practice that are looking for your products, services, and brands. They're shopping right now. So what are you doing to go and get those people that are currently looking for you and pulling them into your business? And then building a brand for tomorrow is creating an association of your brand with a synonym, an emotion, a thought. So is it high quality eye care? Is it unique frame lines? Is it medical specialization? What you want to do is when they think dry eye, they go, oh, there's a place that I drive by, or I've heard about them, or everybody's talking about it. And that's where I want to go. And so that when they become a shopper, they're not going to Google, they're not going to directories trying to find who could service them. They immediately go, I know I'm going to work with your business. And so there are two different strategies. When you look at building leads, it really is about today. It's trying to drive people in to your schedule today, the open gaps. They're on their phones. They're doing searches like eye exams near me, eye doctors near me, buy glasses today. And then talking about tomorrow, a lot of those people, they're in between eye exams. They don't think they need them. They haven't been that compliant. Maybe they've just bought one pair of frames, and we know that there is a lot of opportunity to actually go out and drive revenue, drive services with a whole side of the market that you're not really servicing. If you're saying things like, I need patients today, or I want to grow by X percentage, or I want to double my revenue, those types of comments tend for me to help you go toward a lead generation strategy for today. And if you're saying, I want to see better patients, or I want them spending more money, or I want to drive more medical sales in my practice, then we're really talking about building a brand. So understanding where you are, and ideally you're in both camps, that you want to grow today, but you also want to grow tomorrow. And we're going to talk about how to do both of that. So now I want you to think about your patient persona. So who is it that you want to see, that you want to service, that you want to sell to? The exercise I encourage you to do is think about that ideal, the person, if you could fill your whole schedule up with that person, you would be happy, your staff would be happy, they would be happy. It would be a home run day. Who is that person? I want you to write out everything you know about them. How old are they? What car do they drive? Why do they come in? How often do they come in? What is their average spend? I want you to think about what drove them into your practice originally and what keeps them coming back. If you have an opportunity to call them or ask them, or the next time you see them, think about these questions and say, can I ask you a question? I'm trying to build a marketing strategy for next year. I'm trying to actually find more patients just like you. And so I'd love to understand, what is it about our business that drove you in originally? It might have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it might have been 2 weeks ago. And then when you know they've come back before, what is it that keeps you here, that refers us to, that has you referring us to your friends and family? And understanding those attributes that they care about will help you sort of build your practice around that, or just build your practice messaging around that. So if it has to do with you carry the most unique frame lines, then that's the marketing message that you want to get out there in order to attract more of those ideal patients. So, we talked about this, what makes them desirable, how do they find out your business, and what brings them in. Write these questions out, whether you have a pad of paper in the exam room, just ask and start jotting these down, and then just compile them. And so when you're working on your business, whether it's an admin day or a strategy day, go and collect all of these different data points and really look at it and say, okay, this is what our ideal customers care about. When you think about your patient cycle, this is the general marketing customer journey. And so the first step is they have to become aware that you exist. They have to even have an idea that you can service them. Then you want to pique their interest, which is saying, hey, we offer these things that might be of interest to you. The decision of those key points, what is it about your business, the unique selling proposition that's going to make me choose you? And then, of course, what's that action point? Is there an offer? Is there a call to action? Is it a scarcity? We only have so many patient appointments left for this year. Is it a benefits? You're trying to drive the use of their health benefits before they expire. And so we're going to talk about kind of each one. During the awareness phase, this is about becoming recognizable. It's about truly just being known in their brain about your practice. And so think about when you move to a new area, whether it's your work takes you to a new area, your house takes you to a new area, everything is new. And so it all sort of becomes aware. It's like, oh, I didn't know we had that near us, or I didn't know that this was here. Or if you go on vacation and you've never been to that community or that city before, everything sort of now is coming in your awareness phase. And so part of the marketing plan of awareness is to try to make sure that as many people around your practice know that you even exist and what you offer. So, you want to tie in your main service offering into the fact that you exist. The next one is, okay, now they're considering doing some business. You're like, what is it about you that is driving them to research you? So are they learning more about the About Us page, about your services? Are they scrolling through the brands that you carry? Right now, they haven't really made their mind up. They're probably on 3 different websites, and they are considering their options, and they have not made a decision yet. Now, the decision side, this is where they really have narrowed it down, and they are deciding between you and someone else, because they know when they book the appointment, that is really the decision phase. They're making that decision. And so this is where having an online booking system, this is having very easy access for your patients to be able to access an appointment, whether they call you, something as simple as on your website, making sure your phone number is clickable. So many times we see people put their phone number as an image and it's not clickable, and it's hard for the patient to actually call you. Even in 2022, we're still seeing a lot of this. So make sure that it's really easy for someone to do business with you. And then when we come down to the action phase, this is about converting. So give them, whether it's an offer, whether it's easy appointment times, whether it's highlighting a service. I said before, scarcity, letting them know we only see, we only have a couple patients spots available before the holidays, before the benefits thing uses, whatever that is. Use some conversion tactics to really drive people in. Then you start kind of plotting these different services, these different tactics on this on this kind of journey mapping, where what are the strategies that help bring awareness. And it could be YouTube or traditional advertising, or SEO when people are doing keyword searches. SEO is having your website actually present. Social ads. So I'm scrolling Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, and all of a sudden an ad pops up and you go, oh, I didn't even know this existed. When you get more into the interest phase, now we're talking about having a strong website. It's having content people care about in a blog. Geofencing is really cool. It's putting honestly a digital circumference around zip codes, postal codes, and saying, I only want to show advertising when people are within this area, and then tracking their phones when they are moving about the city, but we knew that they were in and around your area. As we move forward, we look at decisions. So now they're going to be looking at online reviews, they're looking at your social media, they're making decisions that way. PPC stands for pay per click. So this is advertising right at the bottom of the funnel. When someone is searching for eye exam near them, we put an ad right at the top of the Google search page, and you only pay when somebody clicks on the ad. And then when you get to the action phase, this is making sure they can email you for an appointment, they can call you, numbers clickable, or they can book directly online. Really important stuff. So when you're looking at this, what strategies will you use? And I will tell you, no two strategies are the same. This really comes down to, what are your objectives? What's your patient personas? What is your unique selling proposition? What is your budget? All of that is really important. And what we do here at Marketing4ECPs is we work with you, we understand all those kind of recipe points, and we build a strategy that ties in and works with what your objectives are, with what your budget is, with what and who you're trying to attract. But here's, some of the products and solutions that we offer. You can use these on your own. You can use other companies. You can use us. It's important that you just kind of know what's available. SEO is about taking your website and making it rank high when somebody is actually doing valuable keyword searches in your area. This would be like eye doctor near me, or it could be symptom-based searching, and that your website shows up as a solution for them. YouTube, is incredible. It's video advertising on the second most watched search engine in the world behind Google. So people go on YouTube and you can actually put video content and force people to watch it in and around your area. Same thing with social ads. They're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and we can really drive people to consume your content through these social media platforms. Display ads. This is when I'm on the weather network and I want to see what the weather is going to be, and a banner ad shows up. That's an example of a display ad. So it's creating that awareness and interest about your product, services, and brands. Geofencing is doing that, but in a very specific circumference and area around your practice. When we get into website, Marketing4ECPs has been building websites for 8 years. We have a few different options at this point, different price points. But it really all does come down to telling your story, driving conversions, making sure that it is the central hub of all of your messaging, all of your marketing. All roads lead to your website. You want to make sure that it represents you in the best way possible. Social media is sort of an extension of that website. It's putting it on, obviously, Facebook and Instagram, and it's about storytelling, trying to attract the right type of patients to your practice. Again, PPC is pay per click. That is those Google ads that show up, very effective, very, I would say it is still the most effective way to fill your schedule today. CTA stands for call to action. It's making sure you are very clear with your patients what you want them to do next. I want you to book an appointment. I want you to call me. I want you to book an online appointment. I want you to browse the brands, or just come walk in because I have this whole Sunglass Hut section and I want you to come in and actually try those on. One way to drive action, email marketing. Email has been one of the most effective forms of marketing that we've seen really since the pandemic. Our open rates are between 40 and 50%. We are seeing action come out of emails. And so we know that patients are wanting the content that you are providing, and they're actually actioning it and they're doing something about it. Now let's dig into the whole budget. It ultimately comes down to dollars and cents. Marketing is not an expense. An expense is your utilities. An expense is, your business insurance. Those are expenses, things you have to spend, but don't really generate a return. This is an investable expense, which means that the expectation is that for every dollar you put into your marketing and the program, it's generating a higher return on that investment. I understand the frustrating part is if it doesn't work or you're not sure if it works, it's hard to put money out. It's easy to pay the utility bill because their lights come on. It's hard if you don't see the return for marketing. And so it is important to really get dialed into a strategy and spend the time and the diligence, making sure that you're tracking and saying, okay, how many new patients, how much revenue is being driven from this marketing? And then I want you to share your investment, your plan, your cost, your expectation of return with those that help you realize it. And that might be somebody in your practice that you have dedicated to helping with your marketing. It could be your agency. It could be your marketing strategist with our organization. I want you to make sure that they know your expectation of return so that there's alignment among all stakeholders. When you make that investment, you got to believe in it, and it might take some time for you to get there. On this slide, you're going to see a 10-to-1 return. That is when things are really dialed in. You have your messaging, unique selling proposition, you've got the right hours, your sales efforts are dialed in, that when somebody calls, you're booking them, your own conversion rates, capture rates are high. That's where you're going to see a 10-to-1. Really what we're aiming for is 3 to 5. It would be a great place to start. And that's taking, $100, investing it into an ad and hoping $300 to $400 comes back in your pockets, which isn't that crazy. That's one new patient coming in. And so building the marketing plan that helps bring in enough new patients to create that return on investment. The analogy I've used in the book, I've used it, with my audiences before, is that a marketing strategy is your business's sports car. It's going to take you where you want to go, but it's only going to take you as far as the gas that you give it. So, imagine you're going on vacation, you're going to the beach, everything is, the whole family's excited, we're loaded up in the car. You forgot to fill up the tank with any gas. How far are you going to go? Down the street, maybe a couple blocks. But everybody was really excited to go to the beach, and now we're really disappointed altogether. And so when you plan the vacation, which is that 3-year plan out there, and getting everybody on board and everybody aligned with your goals, one of the biggest mistakes we see is we just don't fuel it enough. We don't fund it enough in order to get us on that vacation to hit our 3-year targets and our 1-year targets. And so understand the commitment, the investment you need to make in order to generate that. It's no different than your personal investments, that if you wanted to earn, $1 million of return, there's a minimum principal that you have to invest in order to generate that. And that is the same thing here. I'm going to take this opportunity to share with you a philosophy that I have. If you're watching this, I want you to ask yourself, how much money do you currently have in the general market? How much money are you pulling out of your business, whether it's salary, dividends, and investing it in the stock market or investing it in a portfolio? And ultimately what you're doing is you're taking money out of your business and you're giving it to other business owners to generate a return on your investment. And the challenge I'm going to make to you is, who better to generate a return on your own investment than you, your people, your processes, your products, your pricing? One of the greatest returns I've ever seen in personally is investing in my business. It's investing in more of our own marketing, our own salespeople, and our own product development. And we've seen that investment, grow over time. And instead of taking that money out and giving it to other business owners to generate that return, I truly believe in my people, my products, my processes. And so we continue to reinvest in our company, and it's generating great returns. So just think about that. You want to have a diversified portfolio, but no one better than your own people to help generate a return for that. So, at the end of the day, your marketing, your sports car is only as good as the gas that you feed it. So make sure that you're not selling yourself short. And then trust your numbers, calculate your budget based on real figures. If you are completely maxed out, you can't see a new patient, then you shouldn't be spending a lot of money on marketing. If you're a startup and you don't have a lot of cash flow, then you've got to do a lot of like grassroots marketing and get out there and do a lot of, hustling. But if you're an emerging company, if you're on a high growth trajectory, then yeah, you want to put a healthy budget towards your marketing and make sure that you give it time to kind of grow, and realize that the investment isn't just for you, it's for your employees. As business owners, we all want to create a culture that attracts, retains, and grows top talent, the people that help put food on our table. We want to reward them. And so we have to grow our businesses in order to be able to afford raises, to be able to afford new opportunities for them. And so I've always looked at investing in our businesses, investing in our people, and making sure that they have a path to also grow, or else they're going to grow out, and you don't want that. Over time, adjust your numbers based on tangible results. If you start seeing a healthy return, invest more money in it. And if you're struggling to see that return, pull back and readjust your strategy and find the things that actually really work for you. Now, one of the things I'm most grateful for is having an incredibly talented marketing team, internal marketing team. They built this marketing calculator to help calculate your budget for the next 12 months. There's a link here. It'll be a link in the actual description, or you can go to our website and find that. So if you're curious, how much should you be investing? Use our marketing calculator and it'll help spit out that for you. So kind of back and tying this all together, let's go back to our objectives. Let's say that you had said to yourself, I really need to grow my business today. That's the lead generation. I still want to invest something in tomorrow. And so maybe the split is 75%, 25%. Whenever when you determine your marketing budget, then you divide these out and start building strategies based on two different ideas. So if we had a nice round number, $1,000 a month or $3,000 or $5,000 a month marketing budget, whatever that number is for you, take 75% and say, okay, let's put that into Google advertising and social media advertising, email marketing. Let's try to really drive new sales, new revenue. But let's still have an investment into our YouTube content, into blogs, into display advertising, into perhaps traditional media. To make sure that you're still building the business for tomorrow. If you're a more established practice and you're 3, 4, 5, 8 weeks out from seeing new patients, swap these two. Have 75% about branding and 25% on lead gen. All really comes down to the goals, objectives of your practice. We've also created an annual campaign template. This is all free resources that we have. You can download this. You can plug in the different budgets. You can plug in the objectives. And it'll help give you a plan and guidance for 2023. These resources just keep getting better. They're available to you. That's if you don't work with us. If you are somebody that is saying, I've attended these webinars for years, I know I need to do something, and January is the time. Now is the time that you want to reach out to our team. Just learn about what we do, learn about how we do it. We're working with over 1,000 of your colleagues across Canada and the United States, and supporting their objectives and supporting their practice growth. And that is really our mission, is to do that. So if you are sitting on the fence and you're interested in learning more about what we do, please reach out to us, come talk to us, and download our resources. Use all this stuff, try to get 1% better all the time. That's what we do. And we exist to help support you. So we hope that we can talk to you in the future. If you are a current client, thank you for your business as always. And I hope you found some value in this. My email address is kevin@4ecps.com. If you have any questions directly, just email me. Over the years, I've had many people reach out and they've asked questions and thoughts and philosophies, whatever that is about marketing, or even about culture, building a business, whatever it is. I'm available to you. Please send me an email. I'm happy to chat with you. Thank Thank you very much for attending and have a great rest of your day.